Master Chief, you coming with me? I'm here to take you in.
Who the hell are you, son? And what the hell are you wearing on your head? What are you, RoboCop?
It's budget cuts. This is all they could issue me. Anyways, I'm Locke. I'm the new guy. You gotta come with me, because Command doesn't trust you. And I never question orders.
Wait a minute. Command doesn't trust me? Son, do you know how many times I've saved humanity and the whole galaxy and the Covenant race? 1, 2, 3. I can't even think how many times. What kind of fucking moron would believe I'd be a bad guy and go AWOL?
Well, that might be the story 343. Command came up with. So you're gonna come with me, or else we're gonna have a non-interactive boss fight. Solely on cutscenes.
Listen here, Locke. I don't think so.
Okay?
I'm gonna go save humanity now. Is that cool?
Do your thing, man. Do your thing. I'm not gonna stop you.
I thought so. Get that shit fixed, whatever that is.
I'm trying.
And don't follow me!
Alright, alright.
Hey, you're Locke, the new guy, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is on your head?
Budget cuts, alright?
It's alright. Hey, listen, I got a solution to that. It's a great idea, and I hear you have it in with 343 Studios, a direct line. Okay, check this out. It's called Halo Requisition Points, microtransactions. Yeah? I knew you'd like it. Come on, follow me. I'll show you more.
A little background on my love for Halo and how it's a part of my gaming history. I instantly bought an Xbox solely for that game, a true system seller back then, and later became a huge Xbox fanboy and just pure console player, I'll admit it, both through the original and the 360. Like some newer Halo fans would do now for Halo 5, I would murder anyone that talks shit about Halo back then. I was a true Halo fanboy, okay? And part of me still is. And when I put that suit on, I was just a kid again.
God damn it. You and your fucking toys. No. I'm gonna move back.
However, over the years, my love for the Halo franchise waned eventually. I moved on like most. By the time Halo Wars, Anniversary Edition, Spartan Assault, and more was coming out, I was disinterested for the most part and left those games to the new generation of Halo fans. Now, I eventually did buy Halo 4, curious to see what its new curators, 343 Studios would do in Bungie's wake, but I just couldn't even bring myself to finish it. It was missing something. It just wasn't doing it for me. However, after the recent damn good media content from Microsoft and promises from 343 that they were making about improving after Halo 4, making it even better, returning to the roots of Halo and making some truly cool additions to multiplayer, I decided to jump back in for this one. Ready to judge this game on its own rights while still considering key things from what players expect from a Halo game in terms of value, length, story, and multiplayer goodness. And actually, once you get it going, the Xbox One finally hits its first real intended stride since its inception. Yes, sir, things were looking up for this big exclusive of the year. I called Other Joe over to start our decade-old tradition of playing through the various difficulty levels, and I was immediately met with the first sign that this isn't gonna be the Halo I would fall back in love with. Okay, multiplayer, okay. Arena and Warzone, there's only 2 here, and then theater. Where's Forge? Or did they get rid of Forge?
Do you see it?
No, I don't see
You
it.
see it?
No.
Then it's gone.
It's gone?
It's gone.
That's fucking lame. Forge is in December? Okay, because I was like, what the fuck, man? Gonna take out Forge? For the fucking cry. What the hell? No fucking split screen. You're joking, right? Because me and Joe want to play. Joe, there's no split screen. The f you gonna take out split screen from Halo? Oh, Jesus.
Damn it!
That's fucking stupid. Sorry, Joe. You wanna play?
Go home.
Too bad!
I don't have an Xbox.
Get out of my house! So taking out split screen multiplayer.
It was a huge
A
mistake.
huge fucking mistake. I can't believe this. 343? You know what I got for you? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how that machine worked. First strike! There is no split screen multiplayer at all. One of the core tenets of the Halo franchise now completely ripped out with no warning, gone, removed, in a blatant effort to force you to buy 2 copies of the game and a second Xbox One. Something that people had no problem doing with, mind you, for Halo 1 and Halo 2 after playing split screen with friends. But here, Microsoft and 343 Studios said, fuck your friend, give me money! The reasons for its admission being some of the most insulting PR bullshit ever submitted to players. According to Spencer, the reason the newest game in the series doesn't have split screen is because fewer older people actually make use of split screen gameplay, and when they do play games like Halo 5, it's usually on the Xbox Live service. We see the robustness of what Xbox, and then he has to include these PR bullshit words. Oh, it's so robust of what Xbox Live is today. Quote unquote, I love the nostalgia of the couch co-op of what Halo did in the past, but I also know the realities of the day. With people's busy lives, it's just not as easy to get everybody in the same physical place. It's one of the advantages that Xbox Live obviously offers. What verbal diarrhea just came out of your mouth? Are you f***ing serious? Look at how hard. Look at how hard it was for other Joe to come over. He's not here. What? How are you here?
It took me like a minute.
He's not even here. That's how difficult it was to get one of my friends to come over to my house. What it is, you see what it is Phil Spencer has no friends. And that's what they tell him. And he's like, God, why has nobody come over to my house? It must be because Xbox Live's features are so robust that they would rather interact with me through Xbox Live only.
But you don't
That is it.
understand. The interaction is so deep and rich.
Oh, deep and rich. Rich mahogany. Fine! I sent Joe home and I bought a second Xbox One for this review. I'm not joking. I gave that one to Dell, and Joe could borrow his roommate's Xbox One by bargaining some favors, though you have to turn off the other Xbox One so that they don't get in each other's way on the router. So $400 later, we're off. And then, in about as long as it took me to download the thing from Xbox Live Arcade, we beat the game! Wait, what?
Get Fred back on his feet.
In roughly 4 hours and 30 minutes.
4 hours!
Okay. To be fair, that was on normal. We do normal, heroic, then legendary. That's what we do. Legendary, heroic, it's gonna be longer, but that's still a valid point. It has never been this short for us, even on normal. You see, you now have 3 Spartans flanking you at all times, which makes things far easier in the campaign. I'd recommend that there's actually just 2 difficulties in Halo 5 now, okay? Heroic and legendary. Ignore easy and normal forever, okay? So doing that, your campaign is going to be closer to 3 hours you know, repeating levels and getting killed and you know, that extending the gameplay. But it is still comparatively one of the shortest Halos to date, compounded by the fact with multiple cutscenes which are in the game that are damn well produced and a fun watch. But adding them up, it's about a little more than an hour of that playtime. And hell, 3 of those missions are essentially just talking to other characters, you know, in between set-piece battles. Hardly levels.
Science Human says to leave her alone.
Message received.
Covenant forces are holding position in Sunayon.
Copy that.
Canyons of Sanghelios are breathtaking.
But they do get to let us hear some funny Covenant dialogue. I love the grunts more and more every time I get to spend more time with them.
How come you figure stuff looks different sometimes? I mean, like guns or the Arbiter. Do you remember being more purpler? I do. Maybe just my eyes getting smarter, but I swear sometimes it's like there's a whole spaceship is different. Nobody says anything. And was the Grey Bind always so much scary? I don't know, he was like a big puppet, big flappy thing. Maybe just me that knows this stuff.
Now, the game's length could be excused partly if it was a damn good story, but it's mediocre at best, with a cliffhanger ball-busting of an ending that never earns it and won't be resolved for another 2 to 3 fucking years. Thanks. Jesus. Even so, it's still not as bad as, you know, I will say this, a certain other game, Bungie's Destiny. You know, sequences like these, large, impressive battles, a huge kraken that you have to take on with aircraft, open sections that feel like a real war, and just all of these sections absolutely shit on Destiny. In this sense, it's funny that Bungie now needs to take cues and notes on how to do impressive set pieces in games and give context to players like 343 does here in Halo 5. It blows my mind. However, I gotta mention that Halo 5 isn't very new player friendly if you're brand new to the franchise. If you didn't play Halo 4 and all of the Halo Spartan Ops episodes, if you didn't read the Halo Escalation comics and listen to the Hunt the Truth podcast, you'll be somewhat lost as to who the hell some of these characters are and why they're missing arms and their current conditions, okay? They do offer something called the Halo Channel in the menu, but some more actual in-game story introduction explaining the events between games for new players would have been nice. At least a prologue of some kind. Instead, it opts to immediately inject you into a badass cutscene as Locke.
Contact.
The characters are sliding around, jumping around, doing flips and backflips and sick jumps, and even though you can't do that in the game for real, but whatever. You play as alternating characters, Locke and Chief. Unfortunately, it wasn't half and half. It's pretty much 85% Locke and his Osiris team, and just 3 missions as Chief. 3 out of 15! I didn't buy this game for Locke, okay? I bought it for Chief, okay? There's few faceless heroes that personify badass soldier like the Master Chief. Chief saves humanity and everyone on the planet and other planets countless of times, and now we're expected to believe he's just truly AWOL? Give me a fucking break. But I get it. I get this premise. If the intention was some badass old Spartan versus new Spartan action, they would clash together, you know, that'd be pretty cool. If it actually happened in the fucking game! Behave yourselves, Halo fanboys. realize that I critique the game because I love the game. I want it to be better. And if you sit there and suck the game's all day long and fondle its balls, then they're gonna give you the same shit over and over. If you don't say, hey, I know you guys can do better. Hey, I don't like this particular system. Hey, why did you take out split screen? Hey, why is this the shortest Halo campaign of all the Halos? Hey, why is there a cliffhanger ending that's not satisfying at all? Hey, why do we play as Locke for 9 missions? 3 missions is you just walk around and talk to people, and the other 3 missions you play as Master Chief. Well, the interesting story was with Master Chief, not with Locke. Nobody gives a shit about Locke. Hey, why did you market Halo 5 as if there is going to be this epic fight between Locke and Master Chief?
But now I must save us. From you. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you were looking for? Spartan Locke. Mine is just beginning.
Why is it marketed like that when at no point is there a boss battle of Spartan on Spartan action? How awesome would it have been if you were playing as Locke and you had to fight Master Chief and it was like a fucking boss battle against Master Chief? Holy shit, that would blow people's minds. No, instead, there's a single cinematic where they punch each other a few times that's non-interactive, yet they market the game as if there's gonna be some big fucking revelation, some big fucking fight, and there's no big fucking fight. Realize that you critique a game because you love a game. We get to fight Spartans all the time in multiplayer, but not with the context and the cinematic elements that a single-player boss battle could have provided players. Instead, they decided to just completely ignore this potential, or they just didn't have time for it, they didn't want to do it. They're idiots. It would have added something new to the game, which this game lacks sorely. Comparatively, there is very little new here in the campaign. In fact, it's the exact same formula from Halo 4. Humans versus Covenant versus Prometheans. Nearly the same game, okay? And for me, I always enjoyed fighting the Flood way more than these robot guys, so it's disappointing. Are there at least a bunch of new enemy types then, right? Nah. The closest we get is someone passingly mentioning all the species in the galaxies just casually. I get the feeling we got gypped. Instead, the game becomes kind of rather stale and repetitive towards the end, especially one boss battle in particular. If you thought Destiny was cheap for recycling bosses, just wait until you fight the Warden Eternal. A boss who is recycled not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, like fucking 7 times! It becomes a joke. 343 should have put a Warden death counter on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Seriously, it's hard to be excited and feel anything when you're fighting this guy for like the 6th time. Now, in terms of gameplay, they've crafted a solid shooter here, I will say that. They've improved on the Halo formula in many different ways. Now, dual wielding is absent, which sucks, but some new Spartan abilities have been added. Ground pounding, aiming down sights for the first time, and various other tweaks that make Halo feel kind of closer to Call of Duty type play than it's ever been, speeding the pace from previous Halos. Now, whether that's a good evolution or a bad one is completely up to you, but they definitely have evolved the game and made it sort of a mixture of the two animals. Legendary offers the famous difficulty, often killing you with one-hit enemies. Thankfully, your AI partners can now do something new, revive you, and getting you back in the action faster rather than having to wait for a respawn. Even if the AI on both sides can be pretty fucking stupid at times.
I'm down! My armor's jammed up! Need help! System's down!
Keep moving toward Halsey's position.
My armor's jammed up!
Team orders are also new, but they're pretty much just two options on the D-pad. Nothing too complex to order your guys around, but it's something that you'll likely use if you play on your own, which you probably don't want to do because you're not going to have as much fun with the AI backing you up as you will your friends. I must say the graphics and the dynamic resolution here reaching 60 frames per second are a beauty to behold. The game is just bristling with detail. I mean, for Christ's sake, they even have bugs! There's fucking bugs on the ground, it's bugs! It's on unique planets, there's wildlife. I wish games cared that much, even if I just end up killing them.
Kill you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Oh, what the fuck, dude? Okay, that's it. Oh my god. Alright. Super secret mission completed. Let's go home.
So that was the campaign. People used to buy Halo for its single player as much as its multiplayer. Unfortunately, Halo 5 fails to rekindle that lost magic. As for multiplayer, after the disaster that was the online and Master Chief Collection, 343 needed to bring their best here, okay? And thankfully, the multiplayer, of course, fares better than the campaign. It feels both new and familiar in good ways. There are two main modes of play now, Arena and Warzone. Now, Arena has been inspired clearly by esports gaming, pitting 4v4 in teams red versus blue, using many of the classic Halo modes. Though some fan favorites are missing, like King of the Hill, Oddball, and my favorite, Big Team Battle, they do add some cool new ones like Strongholds and Breakout, a new team deathmatch sort of slash capture the flag mode where you only have one life, and it forces players to act carefully, strategically, instead of charging all around. I really enjoyed it.
I'm going for the flag.
Go for it.
And hence the win.
I got you covered. So. Oh, he's behind me. Go, go, go! Yeah!
Whoop, whoop. Oh shit, I guess you gotta win by 2.
What? There he is. Oh.
I couldn't see him active camo.
Oh, look at that dick.
No, that's not a dick. That's what you do in Halo. That's where it started.
The map designs feel okay, just average at best, nothing memorable. But the issue is that they seem to repeat far too often, frustrating the hell out of you, making it feel like there are less maps than there actually are. There's some 15 in total, but it really doesn't feel like that. There's also a lack of classic maps, though those are sure to come in free DLC packs in the future, which is definitely appreciated and must be commended. Free DLC map packs is great. But we are talking about the experience as it is now and not later. Now, the second multiplayer mode, Warzones, feels inspired by MOBAs, a new way to play in larger, more open maps with vehicles, battling both enemies and AI in a race to 1,000 points. These are great fun, but come with the controversial wreck point caveat that I'll talk about in a bit. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I suck at Halo 5 multiplayer, okay? Like, really bad. I found the one guy on their team who's as bad as me.
Is he
Yeah.
gonna kill you?
No,
You killed him!
I got him. Wiley is my bitch. From now on, I'll just look for Wiley. I had a few good games, but mostly below 1 KDR for me. I'm basically shit, and I don't aim very well because I haven't played on an Xbox One controller since November of last year. and the aim sensitivity in this game's off. The aim acceleration is off. I'm coming from a keyboard and mouse. That's why chat fills up with that stuff. I don't mind if people say that I suck at this game. I do suck at the game. It's absolutely 100% true. But I have good matches. I had a 7.0 kill death ratio in one game. I'll go 2.0, 1.0. Your skill at the game, whether you're pro MLG or whether you're just an average player or a below average player, has nothing to do with reviews and how good you are at reviewing a game. But that's just the culture that Halo community has taken on now. Because I think that the Halo players are getting younger and younger as some of the older Halo players leave because they're getting tired of it. And so then you take on a younger and younger community who are immature and who say shit like that on Twitch. But that's also just a Twitch thing.
Promoted twice.
You've been here for 30 minutes. You never came by my room? Been stuck in your room with the door shut. Okay, you still gotta come in.
Some guy's mom is yelling at him or something.
Something about a door shut.
He was like, "You gotta shut your door when you're playing Halo. You're too loud. You know, shut my door, mom."
Okay, it's time. I need to talk about the controversial new added requisition point system. Prepare your butts for an incoming rant. Never in my life have I seen a community defend the out of just this addition of microtransactions in a game, like ever. It was like Bizarro World entering the Halo forums and communities, just discussing it. Any negative talk about it was swiftly crushed and just downvoted to hell on YouTube and swept aside. It's not a big deal. It's not a problem. Oh, it's fine is the consensus. In fact, it's devolved into outright throwing insult and attacking those who don't like the rec system and vocalize it. Perhaps that's born from 343's attitude towards gamers with questions about the system themselves. Just take a look at how 343's own animation about the new rec system treats people with legitimate questions and concerns about the system.
Lastly, but not leastly, you have single-use cards. These are for your vehicles and power weapons.
Halo has devolved into this. Single-use cards.
Death delivery device.
Get the fuck out of my...
Won't rec packs with special weapons break the exquisitely refined balance of arena multiplayer?
Secure your noise hole, soldier. Grown-ups are talking.
Damn it.
Shut the fuck up! The grown-ups are talking! If you don't like the system, you're not a grown-up!
Players are like ATMs, but instead of small denomination bills, they dispense power, death, and glory.
So can't someone save up their rec cards, join a Warzone match, and spawn an uber-powerful vehicle?
Your noise hole just doesn't know when to quit.
That is what Halo 5 is all about. Halo 5 has turned into the rec system. Halo 5, they should just rename it Halo 5 Guardians, Halo 5 Requisitions. That's what it is. We try to keep it real here. We speak the truth. Whether you want to hear the truth or not, we're speaking the truth. And I will agree that the requisition points is not that invasive. There are more invasive systems of microtransactions in video games. You find them in mobile games. But why do you think that they put in a microtransaction system into Halo 5 that's non-invasive? And do you think it's possible that in Halo 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 that they can make tweaks to that microtransaction system? Do you think it's a gradual grade going to the dark side, or do you think they're just going to flip a switch? They know if they flip the switch, everybody's going to be fucking pissed off. But if they kill you slowly, it's like a frog in a pot that is boiling, you know? It will die. It's not going to jump out because he can't understand the gradual temperature change, okay? But if you try to put a frog in the boiling hot water, he's going to jump out. But if you slowly raise that temperature, he's going to die. So I'm supposed to like this now, or risk being attacked by this generation of Halo fans. Fucking awesome! I love gaming! I love gaming nowadays. It's fucking great. what do we got here? We have, so we did the math, and it's looking like 3.4 million rec points to get every piece of customization.
Of cosmetics.
So, just to get the cosmetics. Oh, that's right, just cosmetics, not weapons and some of the other stuff. Let's see how many rec points I have.
I did the time on that, too.
I have 11,366. Yeah, it's 10,000 rec points per gold pack. You'll get 2 permanent upgrades per gold pack. So those 2 permanent upgrades is what we're looking at for our cosmetics, because the cosmetics are the permanent ones, and that's what those are.
Yep.
Okay, so there's 679 total cosmetics. What that is, and you divide that by 2, because you're going to get 2 permanent ones per gold pack. So divide 679 by 2, which is 339.5. We'll just say 339. Or we'll just say 340.
To get everything.
So 340 gold packs is what you'll need to unlock the cosmetics in the game. Well, how much does 340 gold packs cost? It costs you $3.24 a pack because you have to factor in tax. So that equals $1,101.60. Okay, well you say, well Joe, you don't have to spend money. You can unlock as you go along. Okay, well let's try to calculate how long it would take you to do it without spending money. Okay, well then let's go over here. So if you do great, right, and you'll probably get maybe 900 points per match, 12 matches for a gold pack, is that right?
Yeah, because 11 is 9.
12 matches?
Yeah.
And that's for a good player. Say matches take you 10-minute minimum. 10 minutes? No, they take you a lot longer than 10 minutes. But let's just say 10 minutes. We'll do arena, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. So 2 hours of game time equals 1 gold pack, roughly. So you need 2 hours of game time, and you need 340 of them. So that is that's 680 hours, or 40,000 minutes, 40,800 minutes to unlock the cosmetics in the game.
680 hours.
Okay, so only 680 hours, please, or $1,101.60. So this is what the rec system does to Halo 5. And you make your own decision. Do you think that's good for the Halo universe? Do you think that that the 343 and Microsoft put this in the system for players? Or do you think they put that in the system for business and for corporate and for RNG type addiction, type slot machine, type I have a lot of extra income, so I'm gonna buy a bunch of all these gold packs. I don't care, and 680 hours. And if it doesn't equal 680 hours, and we're off with our math, and it equals 400 hours, is that better? Okay, 400 hours to unlock all the cosmetics in the game. I think that's a little excessive, that's a little ridiculous, as other games that are more popular on Twitch, that are more popular in tournament scenes, that are more popular in sales, even Call of Duty and all these other things where you unlock individual customization and armor pieces and shit, you can unlock that shit in less than 400 hours without spending a dime. And they've, of course, not released the drop rates on any of these things. Shady as fuck. So you're gonna find yourself sticking with only gold packs, as that's where you're gonna find the mythics and the legendaries that everybody wants. New emblems, new kill animations, new stances, of which there is a commendable variety. And it's too bad that all these cool things are locked behind a shitty RNG system where you can buy more card packs to possibly unlock the fucking armors that you really want, instead of earning them through achievements or meaningful challenges. I mean, look at this shit. Look how fucking cool this helmet is. Look at these fucking helmets. You want these armors. I want them. I want them. But now, when you see the Gundam or the Guyver-looking Spartan, it's not because he's a legitimate badass and went through hell to earn his new digs. No, it's because he got lucky on a card pack. Or he decided to drop $70 in busting packs for the armor, okay? And if you think you get something cool for collecting all the intel and the skulls and collectibles in the game, fuck you! Give Microsoft more money! You get jack shit! And you have nothing to show for being a completionist here in Halo 5. But you can spend $3 to get 2 armor pieces, of course. Nice! It's clear to me, and it should be clear to you, and if we can just admit it, we can move on, that this system is not for the players, it's for corporate. Despite claims that a portion of these profits are going to go to the winners, the MLG, the pro players in tournaments, and it pays for free map packs, like, that may be enough to quell the Halo faithful, but it's not an excuse I and many Halo buyers care about. When other companies do these same things without a fucking microtransaction system. Did you forget? Anyway, I do miss the traditional matchmaking and more casual play with, maps and mods, the rotations of the older Halos, though you can get some of this through the custom matches, but it's not always that easy any longer. Theater mode makes a return, even though I had multiple crashes trying to get it going. Ultimately, as this year's biggest Xbox exclusive, Halo 5 ends up a disappointment. This isn't a console seller, no. Sure, die-hard fans will be pleased. The rest of us are gonna be less than impressed, okay? Nobody should run out and buy an Xbox One, or 2 for that matter, just to play with a friend. Fuck you, Microsoft. In my opinion, it's slightly better than, say, the PS4's Killzone, okay? It's better than Dungeons 1.0, but it's still falling short of something truly special. The final verdict is capable of a 7 out of 10, but ultimately gets held back to a 6 out of 10 in its current state right now. Look, I have no doubt that this will be a 7 out of 10 or more when they bring back Forge, big team battles, and add some new free maps, the classic maps, and iron out some of the issues and the bugs. But as it stands right now, at release, it's slightly above average, a 6 out of 10. So if you want to wait to buy it till it reduces in price or add some of these things in December, you'd probably be doing yourself a favor, you'd be just fine. And honestly, I'm getting real sick of having to assess these weak launch versions of a game that will supposedly get better, Joe. Do it right at release, guys. The first time. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
I know, right? It's great. Okay, so now that players are accustomed to the requisition point system, here are my ideas for Halo 6 and 7. Okay, first off, we cut requisition point acquisition in half. That'll get those fuckers to pay more money. Then we put even more stuff into the gold packs, okay? Shit like weapons and fucking just whatever, okay? Maybe ODST soldiers, human soldiers, I don't know, everything! And then we raise the prices to $4.99. Oh yes, I know it's gonna be great.